law degree over 18 years ago, and her office handles cases involving immigration law, family law, business law, contract law, and civil litigation. Call 972-235-5555. That's 972-235-5555. Or email pallavi@yourdaisilawyer.com. Questions for the program Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia can be in English, Hindi, or Urdu. If you prefer an in-person consultation, call 972-361-0606. Remember to turn off your radio when calling.
That's right. Remember to turn off your radio before you ask your question. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And once again, would like to share their website. It is ahluwalialaw.com. Their number is 972-361-0606. Yes, for that private consultation, that would be the number to call. Well, if you have any questions related to employment and family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, or civil matters, now is the time to call. Once again, the number in the studio is 972-235-5555. 972-235-5555. And with that, would like to welcome Pallavi on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM. A very good morning to you. How are you?
A very good morning to you, Meetu. I'm doing very well. Glad to be part of your show this morning with Your Business Matters. We're here every Wednesday morning and at about between 10:30 and 11, and hope to answer questions for the community. I think it must be the speaker. I'm going to have to change it because I can hear my echo.
Yeah, there is a little slight problem that I can hear. Let's quickly change your microphone and see how you sound now.
All right, that's better.
Lot better. So tell me, Pallavi, what's happening in the legal world before we start taking calls?
Well, at this time, I think we have a lot of people who are hearing about the H-1B adjudications. The good news is that if you were selected in the lottery and you were premium processed, the government is quickly issuing you approvals, and that those approvals are coming in because I think what I understand is that since they are so backlogged even with their prior cases and they have too many cases to handle at this point, I think they are cutting everyone a little bit of slack and not auditing for random reasons, which is become the government's should we say it's something that we've seen quite often all of last year. So so that's what we're seeing for a lot of our clients, that approvals are just rolling in. And so if you were selected in the lottery, you were premium processing, then that's great news. Now we've put out a memo to all our clients, and this is about the STEM extension OPT. I'm going to be putting it on our website as well, and this is going to be able to tell everyone, the students as well as employers of consulting that are consulting companies, the do's and don'ts of what is involved when you give STEM training and you sign off on the form 983. So that is something that is has to be kept up and paid attention to, because those forms are signed under the penalty of perjury and can land people into criminal trouble if they are signing off without understanding what they're doing. We have, even after the memo, we have questions from our clients, some of our consulting company clients that are very, very basic, so I can understand that this concept may take a little while to catch up. And for people to be aware of that. So I know, Meetu, we have callers who are waiting, so let's start taking calls.
Let's start taking calls once again. To all the listeners, the number in the studio, 972-235-5555. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. Going to our first caller, Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and please ask your question.
Hi, Pallavi, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So I'm on H1, my wife is on H4 visa, and our current visa expires on August 2016. My employer has filed for our renewal, and I came to know that since our EOS application was filed in a timely manner, I'm already eligible for 240 days of work extension. I just wanted to find out, since my wife is on H4 EAD, does she also qualify for 240 days of work extension? Anything similar?
No, she doesn't have that because see, her EAD will finish at that time that you had your, was it August of 2016 when you roll off on the H1B? Yes, so she would not have had an EAD permission beyond that, correct? What does her EAD say?
That is also until August 2016.
Right, so there is no automatic extension. Upon you getting that extension approved is when she has to again apply for the EAD.
Got it. So I think I'm going to get my visa H1, H4 receipts in like 2 weeks. Once I get the receipts, we will also file the H4 EAD renewal from our side. Once we do that, would there any extension or anything, or can we continue working beyond the point of the expiration if the H4 EAD is not approved?
No, you cannot. So see, the H4 EAD will not get approved till the H4 gets approved. The better way to do this would be to premium process the extension of stay for both of you, and then along with that put together the H4 EAD, and that's when you'll have a quick adjudication on everything.
Understood. Thank you very much.
All the best.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555, number in the studio. Do want you to turn off your radio and then ask your question, please. All right.
Okay. I have a question. My father, he applied for the immigration for my sisters, and it's like almost 14 years, and the files are in Pakistan. So how can we track, what is how much time more left and all these things, how we can find out?
Yeah, so what were their priority dates? So these are married sisters married daughters of a U.S. citizen, correct?
Right.
Okay, so the date that the government is currently giving green cards to is December 1st of 2004. So do you know what dates you have on the priority dates for your sisters that your father had applied?
No, I don't remember right now.
Okay, so
how we can track,
Well, you have to track it by the visa bulletin and being aware of that date. So you have to be aware of that priority date, which should be on the family-based third approval, which is your father's application, the I-130 for your sisters. Okay, so just look at that priority date and also look at the visa bulletin. Every month the visa bulletin comes out in the first week of that month, and it is for the following month, so you kind of get an idea. Now, when you'll hear from the NVC is when you know that the second step of the process has started. But if you said 14 years back, that doesn't sound right, because right now this is like a 12-year wait from what I can see. Okay, so do check the priority dates, and sometimes what happens is that if email addresses are not updated or addresses in the US are not updated, then the NVC letter may go to a wrong place.
Oh, so we can also put our email address also in the information, right?
Yes, so if the email address was added on earlier on, then the NVC, the National Visa Center, will reach out to the petitioner, which would be your dad, through email or whatever email address is there on board for him.
Okay, but I don't think so we put the email address,
Okay, but have you changed your address? Is it still the same address? Because they follow it by a physical mail also. So basically you should be able to receive something from National Visa Center. So the first thing I'm going to send you to is to look at the approval notices for the sisters and see what is the priority date on them. Okay, and then let's look for the next thing to do. All right?
Okay.
Okay, all the
Thank
best.
you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for your call. Moving on to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Yes, you're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi. All right. Let's move on to our next caller and do request you to call us back, 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and please ask your question.
Hello, good morning. My question is, I have been a resident alien for the last 19 years, and I'm now contemplating citizenship.
Okay.
My question would be whether I have to have a valid Indian passport because the one I have just recently expired, and I'm not sure if I have to renew that and then apply for citizenship, or whether my green card alone is enough for that process.
Yeah, you have no requirement to renew the Indian passport unless you have travels that are upcoming in the interim while you have your naturalization application that's pending. So for your own reasons, not for a preceding reason to apply for your, or a precursor to your N400.
Okay, and then what's in the best case scenario? What's the turnaround time from start to finish to get a citizenship?
About 6
Is
to
it
8
like 6
months.
months.
6 to 8
6
months.
to 8 months?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All the
Appreciate
best to
it.
you. Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for your call. For the listeners who are tuning in just now, this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. Their website is ahluwalialaw.com, and for private consultation, we do suggest that you take an appointment. Call them at 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Pallavi, this is Ali, and I don't have a question. Again, a lot of compliments from all the listeners, the way you answer the questions and so patiently. We really appreciate. And the people who are in distress really get good guidance from this program. And I had nothing more to say, but just to pay compliments to you, Pallavi.
Thank you so much. That's very nice of you to call. That's very, very sweet. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
very much.
we just listen to your show, although I don't have any need, but
I know. I do hear from
so
you once in a
excited
while.
about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
There are such lovely listeners here, right, Pallavi?
Yes, there are. Once in a while, I've had Ali call the office and also pay us a compliment. So we appreciate that a lot. That is called, what do we call it? Hausla Zai. So that goes to a lot. Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much, Ali. And yes, I ditto every word that you said. Going on to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air. Aapka sawal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm citizen from last 15 years, and I'm living in a state from long time. I didn't apply for my sisters and brothers because they were not interested to come by. But my niece and nephews are interested to come by. Some of them over 18 and some of them under 18. So is any way for their immigration?
Okay, so the ones that are under, so the age cutoff there is not 18 but 21. Okay. But the green card has to be approved prior to them turning 21. So the priority date must be current, the interview must have happened, all of that, and at the time that they're about to receive their green card, they should be under 21. So that's the requirement. You will have to sponsor the parents, as in your siblings first, and they would come as their derivatives if they remain under the age of 21. Right now, that visa bulletin has a 13-14 year delay almost. So it's pretty far behind. However, if you were to be able to process your siblings and they become green card holders, as long as those kids remain unmarried, they can fall under different options. So if they're under 21, then there is the queue there is October of 2015. It's not too long. If they're over 21, then that under the family-based second B category, then that is about a 5-6 year wait. So there are some options out there. So the first step, of course, would be for you to file for your siblings.
Oh, I have to file for them. Then I need to apply for my nephew.
You will not be able to apply for them. They will come either as derivatives of your siblings, and if they remain under the age of 21. If not, then once your siblings become green card holders, then they'll apply for them if they remain eligible.
And for siblings, it take around 10 years.
Yes, it's about 10 years for filing, but actually the final action dates are. And is this from Pakistan or India?
Pakistan.
Okay, so then those dates are about 12 years behind, August of 2003.
Okay. Thank you.
All the best.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
I have a question. My I-140 is approved. The problem now my birth certificate is having a different date of birth compared to passport. So what is the next step? I mean, to correct this, what can I do?
So which one is the correct one? Is it the birth certificate, which is the correct one, or the passport? So where is the
the birth certificate is the correct one, and it is like a 1 month difference between birth certificate and passport.
Okay, does your high school certificate support the birth certificate? Is it the same date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you have other secondary pieces of evidence from the home country which shows your birth date as supporting the birth certificate?
I'm not sure. I don't know whether I have. What do you mean by other evidence?
So that could be, that could be the ration card, the Aadhaar card. There are several other Indian documents if you're from India where you can, if you have those and they support your birth certificate, then that could be okay. What I would also advise is apply for a correction to the passport birth date. Ask for the procedure from the Indian consulate and see if they would correct that birth date according to that birth certificate that you now have.
And it's not going to impact H1. Do I have to correct any H1? Extension or anything like that?
So one thing to note there would be that. So do you have something that's approved? So this has to be all put together to see once you get the passport corrected, what all you need to correct. Okay. So if you have an extension that's coming up, then you would put in the correct date of birth there. You would also correct it with the CBP, or it could be easier corrected by you getting a new passport, getting the approval notice accordingly, then stepping out of the country and re-entering, and the CBP having the new passport as well as your new birth date that appears on the corrected passport. So there are a couple of ways to correct it, but you'll have to just put everything together to see what all would be the impact of it. But yes, once you know that that is incorrect information, then go ahead and make that change.
Okay. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia. Going to our next caller on Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Pallavi ji and me too. I am here on an H1B visa, but I have also received my EAD, but I'm maintaining my H1B with my employer. I have a question. Can I form a member-managed LLC with a U.S. citizen partner just for some passive investment purposes? So I don't plan to work for that LLC. It's just going to be for the passive investments.
Sure. So you are maintaining your H1B and working for the employer, and this will be done with your EAD. Yes, that's fine. You can do that.
Okay, so when I actually open the LLC, I don't specify anything that I am opening it on EAD or H1B. So it's just that I have an EAD, though I'm not using it.
Correct.
So that itself is sufficient?
Correct. That should be okay. So if you have member managed and the US citizen is also a member, and both of you are managing it, so even if you are both managing it, or if that's the only member that's managing it, as long as you have that EAD which gives you this extra work permission, you should be all right.
All right. My only concern was that since I'm maintaining my H1B, the EAD is still valid, right? I can use that for other things.
You can use it for part-time work, yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio for private consultation. You do need to call the front desk manager at Ahluwalia Law Offices, and that number would be 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question. All right, please call us back, 972-235-5555, number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Good morning. My question is regarding a H4 stamping.
Okay.
I changed I'm in the process of changing my job, H1B transfer. My question is, do I need to do a H4 transfer as well?
Okay, so if your current transfer is going to get you more time on the H-1B, so it's going to get you, if you have like only a year that's left, and that's what the H-4 reflects as well, then you should be okay. However, if you're going to get 3 complete years and your H-4 is terminating in the middle of that, then keep the H-4 with you and also file for that. If there is any extension of stay that's beyond the cutoff time that's on your H-1B as well as the H-4, then I would say then keep that H-4 together with you. If not, then you can, then you don't need that H-4 to go along.
Okay. I just had a follow-up question. So, my wife she's traveling to India, and both of us do not have a stamp in our passport now. We're just on our I-797. So, when I get my new I-797, is that enough for her to get her H-4 stamp in India?
Yes, and that would be sufficient. And in which case, if she's stepping away and going to the consulate, then all she needs is your latest approval notice. So if you have the 797, which would be the latest one where you're working, and she would take that to the consulate, that would aid her. She does not need a separate H-4 approval for stamping.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555. Just a few minutes left here. Let's see how many we can squeeze in. So please keep your question brief, and going to the next caller, Anisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, madam. Thanks for taking the call. This is regarding the new STEM extension, new rules. Regarding that, when any new student comes and joins a consulting firm, it should be on the payroll on the day he joins. How is it like that?
Yes, so the STEM extension right now, the 24-month rule, which became mandatory from May 10th, does not allow anyone. So when you talk about payroll, it doesn't have to be just payroll, as in it could be a W-2 or a 1099, depending on what the requirements of the individual or the position is. The student must be located on your site, cannot be sent out anywhere. There's also, to specifically answer just that question about payroll, yes, there is no volunteerism that is allowed anymore. So earlier, voluntary positions along with the letter were allowed, but that's not the case anymore. The STEM position also just requires there be at least 25 hours of work available to the beneficiary. Okay, so 20 to 25 hours of work available to the beneficiary, which would be the student. So, there is a total of 150 days that is allowed to be unemployed. And yes, and that is cumulative from the regular OPT to this OPT, to the STEM OPT.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good. Thank you very much, madam.
All the best.
All right, thank you so much. We have just enough time to squeeze in one very quick question, so please be very quick in asking, and you're live on the air.
Hi, my name is Hiren, and I have quick questions. Like, I got my EAD, January 2016. So the question is that is it safe to change the employer, somewhere around July? That is where I'm finishing my 180 days.
So the first part of the question I didn't understand. Just could you repeat that?
So I got my EAD in January 2016, and I'm just waiting for 180 days to be finished. So is it safe to change, after 180 days, or employer will create trouble, if I switch to somebody else?
Yeah, so you're talking about AC21 porting, and if you're porting under AC21, it has to be over 180 days. So even after that, if the employer were to be able to withdraw anything for you, which is your I-140 basically, and you join another employer and you have the AC21 packet that's ready to go to the government or has been filed, then you should be okay over the 180 days.
Also, even though they withdraw 140, I shouldn't be in trouble or...
Yeah, but that has to happen over 180 days.
All right, that's all the time we have today. And thank you, Pallavi, for coming on the airwaves. Once again, always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Meetu, for hosting me so well as always. And I look forward to being back next Wednesday. And I think to the callers that are remaining, we hope to answer all your questions next week.
Excellent. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Officers, call in with your